sudden you're being diagnosed as having bipolar. This pause for a minute is going to kick in again. But you're being diagnosed as having bipolar. Well, now they don't even have bipolar anymore. Now they call it adjustment disorder because the DSM, are we on 5 or 6? Whichever one, according to DSM-5. It's not even bipolar anymore. It's no more bipolar. It's adjustment disorder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, and so anyway, the bottom line is like you're empath. You're picking up on that stuff or whatever, and so when you know that it's something else going on, then you can start your journey. So yes, go to the hospital. Yes, get your diagnosis. Yes, get on medication. Yes, do your treatment and add the spiritual piece to it. So if you're finding this video, now we're giving you the next piece to the puzzle. So go ahead and do that, because what'll start happening is that out of nowhere, even when you're at the hospital, you'll flip through one of the magazines they have in there and someone's talking about Reiki, how now they have Reiki in the hospital, or someone who you're around and talk about crystals, or someone who you're around and have a necklace on like not a necklace, but a mudra, mandala, or mala bead. Yeah, on like Rafael has, and then the pieces will start coming together. And then once you get out of the treatment center or whatever, you'll start seeing your spirit will start bringing to you different ways where you could work hand in hand with your physical body, where it's getting the treatment that it needs, and then you'll start meeting spiritual people and stuff like that, and then you'll be able to put together a program with a person like Mama, Baba, Rafael, myself, or whatever. You'll work in the spiritual community along with the physical community, and you'll be able to heal yourself. I think one of the stories that I found out a couple years ago was the head of the UCLA law department. She finally self-disclosed that she was schizophrenic. Oh wow! And she wrote a book, and so none of her friends or anyone knew that she was schizophrenic, and she was actually put into insane asylum, because back in those days, because she's like 10 years older than me, so I'm 54, she's like in her 60s, maybe closer to 70. So way back then, they didn't have the type of nicer facilities that they have now. And so she was put away for the rest of her life. And so at 21, something happened to her. She had some kind of experience on the inside, and she was able to the medicine started working on her schizophrenia, so she was finally able to get out. And then she went to college, and then she became, had a life and whatever. And so the only person who knew was her husband, and her best friend knew that she was schizophrenic. And of course, with schizophrenia, sometimes you can't be around people and things like that. And so her husband was a high-powered businessman, so he would just have his dinners at the restaurant versus coming home. So they made the different adjustments so that her schizophrenia was okay. But at different times, she used to take vacations from work and go be checked into the mental home for 6 weeks, take her break, get her adjustment, and come back home. And for decades, no one ever knew. Wow. And so that's a beautiful, wonderful thing about it, is like, even if you have mental illness, even if you have something going on or whatever, it's the stigmatism is just everyone else's stigmatism. It's not your stigmatism anymore, and that you do have a right to your spiritual side. And now that you know that the fight between your physical and your spiritual has just been going on, now you can rest. So it's like you can come in, it's time to come in, it's time to be born, it's time to have your spiritual experience, and it's time for you to be free of everything. And it's not going to be a quick journey. I mean, some people quick change overnight. I wasn't one of those people. I've been working on myself for 20 something years, and since I moved to Atlanta 3 going on 4 years ago is when I started having the most significant change. And it came through the help of a whole lot of people entering into my life and helping me and usher me to level until I got to the point where I was able to handle the deep amount of pain. Because I'm telling you, it started in August to April 22nd was when I finally came out of it in 2019. And I'm sure if I had been talking to somebody, they probably would have diagnosed me with somebody, and I probably should have been put into a mental home just for my own safety. However, because I was locked into the spiritual community, I was just going through this, and it wasn't shaking me up as bad, because my partner loved me and was locked into me also. It wasn't shaking me up as bad. It was shaking me. I was shook. I was shook, because every day I was shook. However, I had enough, like 2 years or so, spiritual base up under me. So when Spirit finally said, okay, Storm, it's time to heal, it's time to heal, I was in a safe place to be able to heal. At the same time, like I told you, at different times, I was going to go commit myself, because you can always go to the hospital and say, I'm about to hurt myself and others or whatever, and they'll put you in there for at least 3 days. So I never took that off the table, because I wanted to be sure, like you mentioned earlier, Rafael, I wanted to be sure that this spiritual stuff was true. Because if I just needed to be diagnosed with something and put on medicine, I just wanted to live my life and be free and not hurting anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into some false belief of spirituality or whatever, and then I'm still in this abject pain that I'm in. And so I let myself like go all the way through the healing process. And then it's like on April 22nd, I had one last blow up with my boyfriend, and I heard Spirit, life partner, I heard Spirit speak to me, and Spirit said, don't react back. Don't react back. And so I didn't react back. And at that moment, it's like I walked between worlds. I walked from this world into this beautiful world that I'm in now. And I've been this person like ever since. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it was just abject pain. And I think that sometimes people believe they can escape the pain either through religion or spirituality or relationship. I used to escape pain through food. I mean, I weigh like 142 now, but I was up to 193. And, you can't escape it. Just press into it. And if you need someone to be around you, to use this video and use these videos that you see as a way to just say, I'm willing to change, I'm ready to change, and Spirit, will you help me change? And I promise you, something will show up. And when it shows up, grab onto it, because that may be just your first rope to get from this place to this place. Then Spirit will swing another rope, like you're swinging through the jungle, like in the Tarzan movies from a long time ago. You just swing, Let the Spirit help you get out of the situations that you're in, and also realize that you may have to do some time in your situation before you get out of your situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you've gotten yourself in trouble and different things like that, these aren't miracle workers. If you've done something, you may have to go to jail. If you've done something, you may have to go to the mental home. If you've done something, you may have to go through a divorce. If you've done something, you may have to serve time. If you've done something, you may lose your job. I mean, whatever it is, some things that aren't pleasant may happen. You just have to hang on to the point, like you were saying, hang on to the spiritual message that you get.
Yeah.
And then be ready for Spirit to help you out of those situations.
Absolutely.
Help you through those situations, so that you heal and you have something left in your healing, so that you can live a life and have a good life. And having a good life doesn't mean everything's going to be great and all that. It just means you're going to be cool navigating it. It's like, okay, sometimes I got to cry, sometimes I got to laugh, sometimes this, sometimes that.
Yeah.
You're going to get through it. And there are moments, I'm not going to say that over the years there haven't been moments where I haven't thought about killing myself or something like that. However, when that thought comes up, I'm just like, well, I really actually have a good life, and I probably just need to go journal or do some yoga or go run or whatever, or just have the conversation with the person. That abject fear is not there anymore. It's like some things are just going to be on you because it's a habit.
There's no like reaction. You don't react. And just to piggyback literally off of what you said with the problem, like we live in a society that is like, they see like pain or sadness as like there's something wrong, or you're not supposed to be sad, you're not supposed to be afraid, you're not supposed to all these stigma, and that you attach this to it, the sadness to a negative. Whereas like we're happy just as much as we're sad, and we're scared just as much as we are courageous, and we are, it's both. It's like yin and yang, and you need both.
Yes, you do.
And it's super important to know that, and to be mindful of how society talks to us as a society, and know that it's okay to have these, the fear and to be sad, and to not have a good day, and to also not fall into that hole. Like, you don't need to be like, oh, I feel suicidal right now, and oh my God, like you're freaking out, and oh, you're giving it so much power, and all of a sudden, instead, you want to kind of sit back and look at it and observe this thought, right? And you want to be like, oh, what's that? What's triggering that? Why am I feeling this way? Okay, I felt this way before. All right, can I do something else? My life is great, like you said. My life is good. Everything. I have a house. I have food. I'm blessed. And like slowly as you observe these whatever thoughts, instead of falling and being like, oh my God, what's wrong with me, you just observing, and somehow you're just gonna see that it'll kind of go away. Exactly. I mean, it just goes away, and this this, like I was saying earlier, the pain and all this, the fear and everything that we go through, we are meant for that. We are meant to have that. I mean, look at us, like we've gone through so much, and a lot of people, everybody goes through so much. Everybody. And you have to get out of that space where you think that something is wrong with you, or it's wrong to feel sad, or it's wrong to feel afraid, and know that it's okay to be that and to feel that, and it's temporary, and that's what makes you that's what builds character, and that's what gives you the power that we were talking about earlier. That's really what shapes you. It gives you empathy, it gives you compassion, it gives you just everything, this groundedness, everything that you love in other people. It's because they've gone through something. All these people that you love, they have gone through something.
Exactly.
Hopefully that resonated. But
I feel that's wonderful, because it's amazing. It's everything that you said, Rafael, is just amazing. I mean, I just feel like it's everything that I've been trying to say for the past days on this blue couch came out today.
Oh, really? Great.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted people to know. I wanted people to get exactly that. And thank you so much for being transparent with us. And wow, I mean, just beautiful and perfect. It couldn't have happened in a better way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go blow my nose now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I would close out the show.
Whoever's watching out there.
Yes, thank you so much, and we love you. And we, like Rafael said, we've laughed and enjoyed the things like that, and that's what's waiting for you on the side. The other thing I wanted to say is just get an accountability partner, get somebody in your life who you can tell everything to. Absolutely. And just say, hey, because I have a sister, and if I sound a certain kind of way, she will say, do we need to get you to the hospital? Do we need to get you to the doctor? Are you feeling like you're going to do something to yourself? And it's like, I've given her the right to look into my life like that and speak into my life like that. The same thing as my life partner. He knows every single thing about me. So he knows when to check in on me. And some days, yes, I'm on the blue couch doing this interview, but just 2 weeks ago, I was just like, I'm taking a mental health day. I'm staying in the bed. Yeah. I'm drinking my tea. Mm-hmm. I'm binging on Netflix, and I'm not going to get up because I can't figure a way out of my situation. I no longer want to kill myself. I no longer want to be sad. None of that. I just need a moment. And so comfort, I took my vibe cloth, my little cloth that I always have, and I just laid up in the bed and watched Netflix. And then, after I did that for a while, I was like, oh, I feel like going for my run or my workout. And I was able to work myself through it, but I needed that minute. And I think sometimes we just don't want to give ourselves a minute. It may not be that we're actually suicidal or depressed or anxiety or all these other labels that the world forces you to have. I just need a minute. Mm-hmm. I need a minute where I don't have to make a decision. I need a minute where the phone's not ringing. I need a minute where I'm not Storm, I'm not mommy, I'm not sister, I'm not grandmother, I'm not any of those labels. I just need a minute to myself. And I'm like, we don't give ourselves that minute. So when can spirit speak to you? Yeah. When do you have a moment to yourself? So, sometimes when you see somebody on Instagram or on TV or whatever, you're not going to see those moments when they're in their pajamas and they can't hardly get up. You're not going to see those moments when they haven't taken a bath for 2 or 3 days because they just feel bad. You're not going to see all those moments that are behind the scenes. So for you to have that kind of expectation of yourself, that you have to be this perfect person on the outside and nobody sees it. Sure, you don't have to tell everybody your business. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just trying to ask you to be realistic with yourself. That there are times when you're going to be sad, happy, mad, glad, whatever. You have the whole gamut of feelings. You're a human being. You're not a robot. And so at that moment, just embrace those parts of yourself and start learning about yourself, educating yourself about yourself. Have a relationship with yourself so that you know the highs and lows and how to navigate them and how to surf them, and just how to flow along with them instead of these hard ideas about yourself that don't allow you to evolve.
Yes.
And that causes your own pain. It's like you re-injure yourself, you re-traumatize yourself. The trauma that someone else has put on you is worse, is you're doing worse to yourself. So just have that love and understanding and forgiveness of yourself. Yes. During this journey.
Forgiveness. And know that you are enough.
Yes.
Too. Like, you are enough.
You are.
Yeah.
All right, big
All
boy.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you.